to make. I'm just barely any Irish at all. But being surrounded by all this, well, on St. Patrick's Day, everyone's a little bit Irish. Joel Nichols, KNBC 9 News.
Now, in addition to the fun side of St. Patrick's Day, there is a serious side, something these students learned about last year. Recognizing that many of the Irish came to this country because of a set of famines in Ireland in the 19th century, there is a food drive every year to help the needy. Businesses, grocery stores, schools, and a number of organizations take part, and this year is no different. Now, joining me to talk about this year's food drive are the co-chairs of the 1990 St. Patrick's Day Parade, Kathy McGuire and Pete McCluskey. First off, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Mike.
Kathy, tell us a little bit about the details of the food drive. Who, what, where, and when.
Well, the food drive has kicked off. It's the Go for the Green food drive. It runs until March 17th. You can find orange barrels in different stores here in town, Hy-Vee, Payless, and also Minor Sunfresh, and the McGonagall's food store. Also, the Catholic high schools and grade schools in Missouri are participating.
Okay, Pete, this is an expanded food drive. This is, as I understand it, larger than it has been in the past.
We have, I believe, more schools involved and certainly more grocery stores involved than we did last year. And one outlet that Kathy didn't mention, Western Auto, the company I work for, has gotten actively involved in the food drive themselves. And in our corporate office on 21st and Grand, there's an orange construction barrel on every floor of our building. There's kind of an inter-floor rivalry to collect food. And they collected several thousand pounds of food last year.
Do you folks have any explanation as to why this parade that started off almost as a practical joke some 17 or 18 years ago here in Kansas City has grown and mushroomed into literally the third largest parade of its kind in America?
I think one aspect of this parade is that it's kind of a rite of spring. If you think about it, it's really the first major event in the new year that people can participate in. The good Lord willing, we'll have some nice weather. It's the first opportunity for people to get outside. And, you know, visually the parade is quite a sight to see. So I think that's part of the reason.
As I understand it, Kathy, one of the things that the parade is stressing is because it is on a Saturday, and traditionally it's been the world's longest lunch hour for office workers downtown, but you folks would like to encourage people who work downtown to bring their families down and make it a family holiday.
That's right. This is a great day that people can come downtown, bring their families. Most of the time, as you said, the office workers are down here, but their families are somewhere else. So together they can come down, enjoy a safe, fun day together. Yeah,
and as it stands now, you've got how many floats? You know, God knows it's a big parade.
We're approaching a couple of hundred floats at last count, so it's going to be a good-sized parade. But frankly speaking, we're not as concerned as much about the number of floats as we are the quality of the floats. We're not just looking for rolling advertisements. We really ask people to give this some thought and ask that the entry embodies some type of an Irish theme. The theme of the parade itself is the Irish future, so we've suggested to people that are participating that they try to incorporate that theme somehow into their float.
Okay, now I would be remiss if I didn't say right off the bat here, we've got three Irishmen sitting around this table here, and we're going to tell a few stories here in the next few minutes. What are your best stories about the parade? I know I have mine from years gone by. You got something that just didn't make sense or something that really brings a laugh to you?
I remember getting a call from a gentleman one day when I was involved in business entries or organizational entries of the parade, and he was a member of the German-American Society. And I asked him how not that we had any problem with that necessarily. In fact, one of the, I think, unique things about the Kansas City parade is you don't have to be a card-carrying member of Irish ancestry to be in the parade. But I asked him how he intended to tie in as far as the theme was concerned. And the theme of their float was behind every good Irishman, there's a German grandmother or something like that. So we let it, we happily took his money and he came on in.
Kathy, how about you? You got any stories about it?
Well, family is a big one for me. We have always been in it together, my family, and I think many people can share this, that it's just a great time to get together and be together. We've been in the parade and enjoyed sharing our good times together.
Okay, and it's been a family sort of holiday, and the thing I guess I remember is the thing seems to be taking on regional proportions from the standpoint that through a variety of publicity outlets, you can hear about this parade and or watch it throughout the Midwest. And it's not uncommon to find people from St. Louis, from Kansas City, from Omaha, from Des Moines, all over the place, dropping into Kansas City on this thing.
That's absolutely right. I believe on the footage you showed previously, one of the floats that we saw was from Council Bluffs, Iowa. So we do get participation from a pretty wide area geographically.
Listen, we're going to be back and talk a little bit more about St. Patrick's Day Parade 1990 version in just a minute. Welcome back to this Harmony in a World of Difference edition of 9 on Kansas City. Our topic of discussion today, one of the best events in Kansas City, to my mind, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which will be coming up next Saturday on March the 17th. Joining me right now are the co-chairs of the parade for 1990, and it's Pete McCluskey and Kathy McGuire. As you can see right there, it is noon on Saturday. The parade starts at Pershing and Grand down by Crown Center in Kansas City. Folks, tell me a little bit about what folks need to know about either being in the parade or just wanting to come down and enjoy it.
Well, as far as participants in the parade, we will be having a meeting this coming Wednesday, the 14th, where we ask a responsible party from each entry to come down, where we can go over the kind of the rules and regulations that we want to stress with them. We give them their parade number so they'll know where their position is in the parade. We tell them where they need to go to line up for the parade itself. As far as the spectators are concerned, of which we hope there will be thousands, the parade route, as you indicated, starts at Pershing and Grand and runs due north down to Admiral Boulevard, where it'll disperse there. One question I think we both get asked a lot is where's the best place to watch the parade? And it's any place you can find a slot, because the sidewalks start to fill up fast.
And as I understand it, Kathy, one of the things that you folks are stressing this year is the fact that in terms of the spectators, everybody needs to be friendly to everybody else and just have a good time, have fun.
That's right. Enjoy the people around you, enjoy the parade, have a good time, and just enjoy it. They are going to be looking very much for everyone to enjoy themselves.
When you have 100, 200,000 people, and if it's 70 degrees out, from what I'm told here, it's not inconceivable you could have 300,000 people along that parade route. And so it's real imperative, as I understand it, for people to be responsible about what they do and how they conduct themselves with one another.
We have taken the issue of safety very, very seriously this year. In fact, I think we have made a more conscious effort to stress safety than we ever have before. We realize full well that if the parade should develop a reputation as not being a very pleasant place to be due to a lot of hooligans, then we're going to lose attendance and lose credibility. And it is certainly true that for several years, many years as a matter of fact, we've made a very strong issue as far as the participants are concerned in terms of no alcohol. We do not allow any alcohol on any float whatsoever from the time they go into the staging area until they finish the parade. In fact, we do not hesitate and have, unfortunately in the past, found it necessary to pull floats out, some at the very last minute, because we found alcohol in their float. A lot of people think we're kidding about that, and we're dead serious about it. And extending that a little bit further, we've decided this year to really stress publicly the aspect that we want the spectators to use their heads and use a little common sense and have consideration for the people standing next to them, because we want this to be, we want it to be fun. I mean, it's a fun day. It always has been, but obviously there are limits, and we just want people to know where that line is drawn and hopefully not step over it.
Now the reality of the situation is that there are some people who do not exercise that sort of responsibility, and as I understand it, there is the St. Patty's wagon. What is that?
Yes, that's being sponsored by St. Joseph Hospital. The St. Patty's wagon will run from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 2 a.m. People can call 943-3949. They will pick you up from a public establishment and take you to your home if you've imbibed a little too much and need some help getting home.
Okay. You know, and I think the thing that is charming about this whole enterprise is the fact that it, as you said, Pete, it really becomes a rite of spring. You got a Saturday date on it with good weather, and as I understand it, the weather hasn't been that great of late, so you're due.
We are definitely
due.
In fact, I hope whatever, it's it's raining today as we do this show, and I hope Mother Nature is getting it out of its system now, so we have nice weather.
You know, you can have 300,000 people on that parade route, and, you know, the message I'm getting from the parade committee is that, you know, exercise a little responsibility and just, you know, have a good time.
We've had several discussions with the police department on the subject of what kind of a crowd we expect. We have a record of, I believe, I don't remember, it was 1985, several years ago. The parade was on a Sunday, and the crowd was estimated by the police at 275,000 people.
Amazing.
So this year being a Saturday with a day for people to rest before they go back to the office with any kind of nice weather whatsoever, we do not believe that it's inconceivable for us to see 300,000 people down there.
Amazing. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back right after this. Talking about this year's 1990 St. Patrick's Day activities, and with me, Pete McCluskey and Kathy McGuire, the co-chairs. I have to tell you one quick story. We were talking about responsibility and everybody enjoying themselves. When I went to the Republican Convention down in New Orleans in 1988, we were staying at a house that we rented down there, and we had a baggage screw-up. Our bags didn't get on the correct plane, and so they were like a day late. And so the guy that lived across the street was a fellow by the name, believe it or not, Pat O'Brien was the guy's name, and he was an attorney down in New Orleans, and he was out cutting his grass. And we said, excuse me, we're in town for the convention, and we've had a screw-up with our bags, and would you be nice enough, if you're going to be at home, to sign for our bags when the cab drops them by in a couple hours? And the guy went, no problem, not at all. And we went, thank you very much, you know, can we take you out to dinner? Can we do anything for you? Is there anything we can do? The guy looked at us and said, boys, you're in New Orleans. All you got to do is have a good time. And I think that's the message we're getting from you folks about the parade. Enjoy yourself.
We absolutely want people to have a good time. But as we talked previously, we want people to use their heads. And we want to be a safe parade for everybody involved, because today, this year's parade will be the 17th annual, and you know, we want there to be a 117th annual. So that's only going to happen if people keep this at a level of safety that everyone's comfortable with.
Now, this is a loaded question, but the theme of this year's parade is the Irish future. How did you come about that?
Well, Michael, you came up with that idea, and it was a very good one.
Your viewers may or may not be aware that you yourself sit on the St. Patrick's Parade Committee, and in fact, through your creative genius, we came up with the Irish
A lot
future.
of blarney going on right now. A lot of blarney.
But it was a good thought to build on the future, green being a very warm color, a color that makes people, I think about the future, think about what's in store for us ahead. The children are our building blocks for our future, so it fit in very well with what we're trying to get across.
Particularly because we're entering a new decade this year, it seemed most appropriate that looking in a future perspective made sense for the theme of the parade this year.
I think it's
good
a great
job.
one.
Good job.
So it's going to be something where people look ahead, and hopefully the parade won't be full of George Jetsons in green suits, right?
Right. Now, there will be some, in fact, if I may announce on this show, we try every year to get some type of celebrity in the parade. We haven't got Maureen O'Hara or Richard Harris yet, but a couple years ago we had the San Diego Chicken was kind enough to enter our parade, and he even donned a green tail feather for the occasion. It was the first St. Patrick's parade he had ever done, by the way. And we thought we had been to the mountain with the San Diego Chicken, but I'm most pleased to announce to your viewers that this year we have been able to secure an appearance by the voice of Gumby. And Gumby himself will be riding in the car, and we were quite excited about getting the voice of Gumby in our parade this year.
A legend.
A legend, yes.
Childhood television legend.
Actually, a gentleman by the name of Dallas McKinnon, who lives out on the West Coast, did the voice for Gumby. He's done voices for several cartoon characters over the years, did a lot of work for Disney and the Woody Woodpecker Show, and did a lot of old westerns back in the earlier days of television. But we looked at all the characters he had done, and given that Gumby is green, we thought we would bill him as the voice of Gumby. So we have him in the parade this year. And Marina Harrow may stop by. I don't know.
There you go. There you go. That was the sole choice because he was Gumby and he was green?
And he was the only person available.
Does that mean the entire parade is going to move in a claymation?
Right,
That's right.
right. And we're still trying to reach Pokey, by the way. But Gumby will be there. Don't be obese.
Yeah, that's one of the charms about the parade is there's a definite, a strong sense of humor in it. The guy that was on the piece that Joel did at the front of this with the pig nose, and he's talking about, well, we always bring home the bacon. I mean, it's that sort of fun day.
It has been suggested, the parades in other cities, I think there's a strong element of, the politicians, the police department, the fire department, battalion after battalion, and we love those people, and in fact, they're in our parade as well, but we don't take ourselves so seriously that we won't allow something like the Pig Out Restaurant Club or the mechanical horse or all the crazy things. Mike Murphy, the vehicle that he rides in every year, the Deffenbaugh disposal vehicle. I mean, we like that type of thing. That's fun, and that's what makes our parade fun, and that's the kind of things that people have come to expect from our parade. They just never know what they're going to see going down the street in our parade.
All right, very good. We'll be back with this intense grilling of the co-chairs of the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee and activities that take place in Kansas City affiliated with this event.
Yes, there are. We've got the Brookside Parade, the Snake Saturday Parade up north, parade in Shawnee. That's all happening this coming Saturday. We have a luncheon we're putting on Monday, the 12th, and we are handing out the numbers on the 14th. So we have a lot building up to St. Patrick's Day.
And the thing about it is the committee wants to try and make this a year-round sort of event, or at least keep it in the consciousness of people.
We try to, we've discussed quite often over the last year about the fact that we'd like to kind of spread the activities out over the year and not just have everything center around March 17th or the weeks up to March 17th. And one thing that we did this year was we had the first annual Rubbo the Green golf tournament at Sunflower Hills over in Kansas City, Kansas. And it was a golf tournament with a charitable bend to it. We raised money to contribute to the Celtic Children of War Fund. The Ancient Order of Hibernians, which is the social and fraternal organization nationally for people of Irish descent, has taken up a separate cause called Celtic Children of War. And the basis of this program is to take kids from Belfast, from Northern Ireland, one Catholic and one Protestant kid from Belfast, and bring them over here, get them out of the war for a couple of weeks, and put them in a normal American household and let them find out that there is life outside the war and what it is like. And also to teach them that just because you're Catholic and I'm Protestant or vice versa, it doesn't mean you can't get along with each other. So we raised quite a bit of money to support that cause, and we intend to make that an annual event.
All right, and so the intent is to put that in September, which would be a 6 month.
Halfway to St. Patrick's Day, by coincidence.
It just happens to work out that way. Okay, and I know that there's nothing more important than trying to help people out, and as the troubles over there continue, the more people on both sides of that understand that the others are human beings. Maybe really, eventually we can get a settlement done.
Yeah. It's a grassroots movement, word of mouth. Hopefully those people tell others, and hey, he's not such a bad guy, and that's what we hope to establish.
Pete McCluskey and Kathy McGuire are the co-chairs of the 1990 St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, the third largest parade of its kind in America. They've been kind enough to stop by on this Harmony and World of Difference edition of Night on Kansas City. We want to thank them for being here. We want to thank you and wish you a very, very happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, Michael.
Thousands of people are there, and you don't experience a problem. But
happen, they do happen, but rather than just say, well, this is just the way it is, we ask the police department to increase their activity to try to keep that to a minimum. That's basically what it is.
So expect more police than ever along the parade route. The officers will be watching for underage drinkers and adults out of control.
After the parade, the bulk of the partying shifts here to Westport, where even the streets are closed down. But even in this traditional party spot, excessive drinking is discouraged.
Westport bars know that most customers will drink alcohol, but others won't push their Irish luck, and they'll be rewarded.
We have a designated driver program where anybody who comes up and identifies themselves as a designated driver will get free pop, mineral water, anything non-alcoholic.
Police will patrol here, too, as always. But they say expect the biggest change along the parade route, where the wearing of the green is welcome, but the bringing of the booze is not. Peggy Bright, KMBC 9 News.
We'll give you a live preview of what you'll see tomorrow, and we'll see winding through downtown Kansas City tomorrow. Students call their float the Fountain of Youth because of a 6-foot-high fountain made of green and yellow paper flowers.
Now, we do have a quick reminder for you. If you are planning to go to the parade, it starts at noon. Here is a look at the parade route for you. It begins at Pershing and Grand and runs north on Grand up to 7th Street.
And
Organizers are expecting a very big turnout.
Parade co-chair Kathy McGuire is out watching the O'Neill family work on their float right now.
Hi, Kathy. Any words of advice for people coming to the parade tomorrow?
Well, just to be down there, as you said, Lori, at noon. That's when it starts. Find a good spot along the parade route somewhere. Settle in and look for a good parade to go down Grand.
Kathy, give us a thumbnail sketch of the theme and what people will see tomorrow.
Well, the theme of the parade is the Irish future, and they'll see a lot of green and a lot of good floats. As you said, the O'Neills are in the background working on theirs now.
I understand this is one of the bigger parades in recent years, Kathy.
Yes, it is. We're expecting a very large crowd. It's on Saturday. I think the weather's going to hold, the good Lord willing, and we're expecting hopefully around 250,000 people.
And the focus, of course, this year on the family and tremendous frowning on alcohol.
That's right. We want everyone to have fun, but we want to have a safe and sensible parade.
Thank you very much, Kathy McGuire, for joining us. Now you get back to work. I think there's a little more to be done there.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you, Kathy.
Bye, Larry. Bye, Lori.
Bye-bye. Now, for those St. Patrick's
yellow paper flowers. Blue metallic paper represents water pouring from the top. As you can see, there's still a lot of work to be done.
We need to get the crepe paper and put it into there's chicken wire underneath that. We need to put them into the chicken wire so we can get the float all filled in.
This will be one of 200 floats in tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day parade. Students are calling their float the Fountain of Youth.
Some people say that young people aren't going to make any difference in the world, and we want to just show them that we are making a difference in a couple of different ways, and so the Fountain of Youth kind of represents that.
This is the first time the Junior High Catholic Club has been in the St. Patrick's Day parade. Students say they're excited.
I've never been in one before. It sounds fun. Being with a lot of friends, waving to a lot of people. Looking forward to it.
So while watching tomorrow's parade, keep an eye out for float number 53. Brenda Washington, KMBC 9 News.
And tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day parade steps off at high noon. It starts at Pershing and Grand, traveling north, ending at Grand Avenue and Admiral.
Now, you may know that each year the parade names a Grand Marshal, and this year he is a native of Ireland, Patrick Joseph Cullinan, better known around here as PJ. And as Micheal Mahoney reports to the Irish, he is a person who has made a world of difference.
That's right. There are lots of reasons P.J. Cullinan has earned the Grand Marshal's honor. For years, he's delighted riders along his ATA bus route. He retired in 1988, but during much of that time, he helped nurture the Irish culture of Kansas City.
I like to keep the Irish culture going. I like the dancing and the music and everything Irish.
And he's always there for the Irish and just for everyone in Kansas City.
Okay, when you say always there, what do you mean? Give me a couple of examples.
Well, he comes to the meetings. For myself, I can always go to PJ and talk to him. He's a good, warm character to have with us.
As a result, the Irish here produced world-class Irish step dancers. And pride in their heritage produces sellout Irish concerts. And crowds like this clamoring to join the annual parade and be Irish if just for a day. And PJ has seen it all.
I never thought to be this big, really. When we started out, we weren't near this big, but now there's thousands and thousands of people watching us.
Cullinan came to America from Ennis in County Clare in 1950. Ireland, he says, celebrates St. Patrick's in a much more subdued fashion than the Yanks. And tomorrow they'll pipe P.J. Cullinan down Grand Avenue and he'll marvel at it all. For the Irish, he is a person who's made a difference. the Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
No, I'm halfway enjoying it, but I never expected to have all this hullabaloo.
Micheal Mahoney, KMBC 9 News.
Body is just a little bit Irish on March 17th. Finishing touches are being put on the floats. Some people will actually work through the night, so they'll be ready. More than 200 units will be in the parade, the most in recent years. The parade steps off at noon at Pershing and Grand Avenue tomorrow and goes down Grand Avenue to Admiral or 7th Street, where it disbands. Family and fun are the focus of the parade, and alcoholic beverages are banned. The police will be looking closely for disorderly celebrators.
I think everybody's ready to go this year.
I think so, too.
Day Parade is brought to you by the Kansas City Star. Every morning, check the source. And the Kansas City Metro Dodge dealers. See your Kansas City Metro Dodge dealers, where the spirit always shows.
Good afternoon from 18th and Grand in downtown Kansas City. Welcome to the 1990 Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade. And welcome, and thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Christensen along with Julie Lux, and this is absolutely amazing. We've broken tradition.
Tom, I've been waiting for years to say this. It is a great day for the Irish. There's no snow, there's no rain, there's not a cloud in the sky. So we have a perfect day. Bit breezy, but that's pretty good under the circumstances.
Just a little bit of wind, not bad at all. And right behind us, things have already started. We've got the Blues Brothers. They're going the wrong way. But we are in for an absolutely spectacular parade. We've got more entries than we've ever had before.
More than 200 entries this year.
And we also have one of the largest crowds on hand I think we've ever had.
There are folks, I don't know, what would you say, about 6 deep on both sides of the street as far as the eye can see. And in fact, coming down the street the other way, I think the parade's even getting started.
So we've had a lot of firsts here. We've had first time with absolutely great weather. We've got an enormous crowd. First time the parade's got off to a great start on time, and we will be bringing you all of the action along with the Blues Brothers coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
Dodge is hot.
Red hot.
It's a sizzling success celebration.
We're turning up the heat.
Sizzling savings on Spirit.
A better value than Nissan Stanza.
On a fiery Daytona.
More available horsepower than Nissan 240 SX.
Even the searing Shadow.
More horsepower than Nissan Sentra. The sizzling success celebration.
Hurry, ends March 31st.
At Bob Haas, Raytown, Summit, John Wallace, Doug's, Gladstone, and Weinberg.
I got the highest interest rates last week.
I'm impressed. Where do you get your advice?
I can't believe all the blouses are gone on the first day. I wonder why.
He's not going to trade starters. Yeah, what makes you so sure?
Why do your groceries always cost less than mine?
I believe you, but how do you know?
From Touchstone Pictures, Edward Lewis was rich, powerful, and alone.
My ex-wife, now in my ex-home, my ex-dog.
So he hired himself a date.
I'd like you to spend a week with me. Is that a yes?
But what began as a simple deal...
Give her your gum. I don't believe you did that.
...turned into more than he bargained for.
Walk, walk, walk!
With the little suckers.
Richard Gere, Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman, rated R. National sneak preview tonight. Check newspaper for showtime.
There are a lot of fish in the sea, and a lot of restaurants trying to lure you in. But Hardee's may just have the best lure of all. Their fisherman's fillet sandwich, and for a limited time only, new crispy fish dippers with tangy dipping sauce. Both are made from 100% North Atlantic cod, so for out-of-the-ordinary fish, come to Hardee's. Deep down, you know how good it really is.
I'm Julie Lux along with Tom Christensen, and look at all those people, Thomas. How many do you think are here today?
Well, if predictions are correct, we've got like 100,000 people, probably even more. I mean, this is a spectacular crowd. It's just nearly a picture-perfect day for the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
And, you know, there's a lot of competition between cities like New York, Chicago, and Kansas City to see who can attract the most folks down here to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
There certainly is, and last word that I heard, We are rated like the third largest St. Patrick's Day parade in the country. I think only behind New York and Chicago, or Chicago and New York, something like that. So this is great.
I know the parade organizers are out to beat that record. Tom, did you know the first St. Patrick's Day parade in Kansas City was back in 1873? There were about 200 Irish families in Kansas City at that time, and they all showed up for the parade on that St. Patrick's Day. And, of course, keeping with the tradition that everybody is Irish on this particular day, a lot of other folks joined in the celebration as well.
You'd be hard-pressed to try and pick out who is Irish and who is not. Everybody is a little bit green anyway today.
Well, absolutely. It's important to wear the green. That's the big reason. We've got the parade. I think I see some folks coming down the street here. And right out in front is the Irish flag bearer. And this year, that honor goes to Phil Cheney. Phil is no stranger to the Irish of Kansas City because he is vice president of the Ancient Order of Hibernians and founder of the Kansas City chapter of the Celtic Children of War. Now, Tom, this is an effort to bring understanding to the troubles in Northern Ireland. And the flag he's carrying is that of the Republic of Ireland.
The white in the center of the flag of the tricolor symbolizes the lasting truce between the Orangemen of the North and the green of the Irish Republic. It was first hoisted over a Dublin building, by the way, during the Easter Uprising in 1916. That war led to Ireland's independence.
And it is flying proudly here in Kansas City today. Now, the next gentleman, can we see the lone piper coming up the street?
I don't think they've quite gotten
Not
to
quite
us.
to our camera range, because this gentleman's name is Jody Watson, and he called me yesterday. I talked with Jody on the phone. Last year we spelled his name wrong, so I'm going to say for all watching, Jody Watson is Jody. Now, I've kept my promise. You want to tell us about him?
And not only did we spell it wrong last year, I see by our script, we spelled it wrong
this year again.
This year as well, but we won't let him see the script, so he will be none the wiser. As we wait for the parade to make its way up there, you can get a glimpse of some of the crowd. It's absolutely amazing. It goes all the way from where the parade begins, which is
down by Crown
way
Center.
down by Crown Center. We are on 18th and Grand, and we are just surrounded by people. And then it goes up the street all the way right down to, it looks like, about the middle of downtown. And the people are 5 and 6 rows deep, and there's more people rolling in behind us. So it's going to be a great parade this year.
And some of the best costumes, the best Irish attire that I have seen in a long time. And, of course, these folks will be tired by the time they're finished because they'll walk all the way to about 7th Street.
It's quite a hike. I'm glad you and I
everybody asks
just
every
exercise
year.
our mouths.
That's right. We're sitting down, folks, like all of you at home enjoying the parade. Okay, I think I see Jody out in front there. Now, he is a Canadian, Tom. He is half Irish and half Scot, and he's made a name for himself as a pipesman all around the country. Mr. Watson is retired, and as I mentioned, he competes in national piping contests. So,
and before he became a national pipesman, he was a stonemason by trade.
Maybe he'd like to come out and work on my house. Nah, probably not. Okay, the firemen, or those are the firemen we just caught a shot of there. That is the Kansas City, Missouri Fire Department Color Guard. They have been the pride of the fire department for more than 10 years. They've represented the Kansas City firefighters throughout the nation. Many of you have probably seen them present the colors at Royals and Chiefs games, including the 1980 World Series. That's a good way to get a ticket, huh?
Some guys will do anything to get in. Certainly not us.
And there is Jody Watson right there, playing his nationally known bagpipes.
Jody with a Y, Watson. Is that great?
Terrific. He looks wonderful, too. What a great costume.
I was going to say, where do people get these things? I mean, there's some people who have put a lot of time and money into their costumes. They're absolutely great.
It's probably those folks that have gotten to go to Ireland, Tom.
So Jody is standing in front of us now, and as we wait for him to move along. immediately behind Jody, as Julie mentioned. Jody and Julie.
Okay,
is
this is
the
our flag bearer.
Kansas City color guard and our flag bearer, we mentioned.
And again, that is Phil Cheney. Looks like he has a little Cheney along with him today. And there's the fire department. We have certainly had music of all sorts today, Tom, and we were listening to rock and roll earlier. We've had some bagpipe, and I bet we have a lot more before the day is over with.
The official radio station of the St. Patrick's Day Parade is KCFX 101 The Fox, and we were rocking and rolling with the Stones before we got on the air, and now we're back to things
now we
just
have a little pipe
bit
and
more
drum music.
traditional.
This is the Ararat Shrine Kansas City Pipes and Drum Band. Combination of pipe and drum members from other bands, and they come together each year, especially for this parade, and I guarantee you that they will delight this huge crowd today with some Irish pipe tunes. They've been here for 15 years.
Unbelievable.
They must have a good time. All right, Ken Houston is there with this year's Grand Marshal, Mr. P.J. Cullinan, Esquire. Mr. Houston, take it away.
Thank you, Julie and Tom. I'm here with Mr. P.J. Cullinan, and he's the Grand Marshal of this year's St. Patrick's Day Parade, and he has another distinction. He is the Irishman of the Year. How does that
That makes me feel very good and very proud to be Irish. I never expected all this.
Now, how did you manage to get both of these honors in one year?
I really don't know. I guess they kind of like me, I guess.
All right, very good. We love you here. Back to you, Julie and Tom.
Thanks, Ken. Well, we can tell you how he became both the Grand Marshal and the Irishman of the Year. He's very deserving of that honor. PJ came to America in 1950, by the way. He's a native of Innis County, Clare. He's made hundreds of friends in Kansas City since he's been here. He and his wife, Molly, have 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and whenever the Irish community needs something, PJ has always been quick to respond.
Speaking of fine Irishmen, Tom, we are looking at the car in memory of Monsignor Arthur Tye. Now, he served as the spiritual mentor for the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Kansas City for many years. Sadly, Monsignor Tye passed away last month at the age of 84. But the parade wanted to specifically remember him today for the many wonderful things that he did for the Kansas City community and the Irish.
And once again, the first citizen of Kansas City, Mayor Richard Berkeley, makes an appearance. The 3-term mayor is synonymous with Kansas City. He serves the city with distinction on the National Conference of Mayors. More importantly, presides over the city with one of the biggest and certainly the best St. Patrick's Day parades. That, of course, is the mayor's wife, Sandy Berkeley.
And don't they look good? And speaking of mayors, the mayor of this area's sister city is following closely behind. The Honorable Joseph Steiniger of Kansas City, Kansas. Now, of course, Kansas City, Kansas is a town rich with Irish heritage. In fact, the co-chairman of this year's parade, Pete McCluskey Jr., is a KCK resident. And this February, Mayor Steiniger City hosted the fantastic Wolf Tones concert for the parade committee, and it was a fantastic evening that everyone is still talking about.
And what better setting for a politician than a parade? And this, of course, is Missouri's 5th District Congressman Alan Wheat. He is in our parade again. He's been here before. The 36-year-old Democrat has made something of a name for himself in 4 terms in the U.S. Congress. He was one of the few freshmen ever appointed to the prestigious House Rules Committee, and he, too, can be proud to have a parade this grand in his district.
Well, for many years, Irishmen of the political bent have been participating in these parades. It's time for us to take a quick break. We'll be back. We have lots more of the 1990 Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade.
No matter where you've been, there's nothing like the feeling of coming home. Unless you're the victim of a burglary. It's traumatizing to lose sentimental objects, as well as your valuables. You feel violated, vulnerable. You've lost your peace of mind. That's why ADT, the leader in home security, developed SafeWatch, a unique security system that helps give you 24-hour protection. For a small monthly fee and a one-time installation charge, your home can be linked to an ADT alarm center. It's so easy to get the affordable security of SafeWatch. Isn't your peace of mind worth a simple phone call? Call this local number today. so that all your homecomings can be good ones.
ADT, we're home even when you're not.
ADT Safe Watch, only $19.95 per month. Call right now, 816-842-0264. Major credit cards accepted.
At Big Bob's Used Carpet's newest shop, there's so much to do, but there's so little time left to do it. We're in the final countdown to our grand opening. Equipment going in, inventory stocked, arranging and rearranging to make sure that it's perfect. There, are we done? Right, all set for tomorrow. Dawn breaks. A new Big Bob's Used Carpet shop full of twice clean, professionally sanitized used carpet at prices up to 80% off the cost of new. Big Bob's Used Carpet.
You know, when you got it right, you got it right. Whether you're talking about this, or whether you're talking about the one and only Diet Cola that does it for Ray, Diet Pepsi. You know, nothing tastes as good to me as Diet Pepsi. All right, now, who's the wise guy?
Diet Pepsi with 100% NutraSweet.
Now, that's the right one, baby.
Welcome back, and as you can hear in the background, one of the many marching bands you will see tonight is just passing us by. These folks are the Van Horn High School Falcons. We'll give them a listen.
Oh, Thomas, coming up next in the parade, the folks who are at the heart and soul of the Irish community here, the Ancient Order of Hibernians. Yes, indeed. The Hibernians are one of America's oldest Irish social clubs, and the AOH was first listed in St. Patrick's Day Parade here, as we mentioned, way back in 1873. When the modern parade was resumed in 1973, the Hibernians rushed to help make this parade the great event that we're enjoying this afternoon.
And there is no such thing as a good Irishman without a good Irish lady there.
Absolutely.
And that, of course, these fine ladies certainly fill the bill. Without the Lady Hibernians, the organization would not be what it is today. Lady Hibernians contribute a great deal to this parade and to the Irish community in general.
I know that a lot of folks in the crowd at home are recognizing a lot of the folks that are going by here parading with us this afternoon.
I'm beginning to wonder, with all the people here, who's at home watching us. Yes, although I do know of one group that we'll mention a little bit later.
Okay.
And what would a St. Patrick's Day parade be without the little people there? In this case, the marching leprechauns of St. Therese of Parkville. These leprechauns are really second-grade students at St. Therese, and they're in their 5th year in the parade. I hope it's different second graders
classes,
somewhere along the way. They're honoring their two favorite people, St. Patrick and Father Hart of their school, and they play the best Irish kazoo music in this parade.
All right. Yes, I see a young man with a kazoo there.
It's easy for you to say.
Coming up next, Tom, another great friend of this parade. That is the Western Auto Company. Western Auto is one of the corporate sponsors for this parade. In addition to this wonderful float, and we see a lot of Western Auto folks marching right now, and there's about 100 of them, and they are all employees of the Western Auto Company. And they include some of Western Auto's most influential citizens of the Kansas City area, like the chairman of Western Auto's board, Mr. John T. Lundegaard. And there it is. There is the float.
And we want to remind everybody that bringing up the rear of the parade, when it's finally over, a Western Auto delivery truck filled with food and canned goods. It's all been donated by Western Auto's employees for the Parade Committee's annual food drive. Western Auto, a corporate sponsor that is putting its money and its people into the community.
Okay, and congratulations to all of the folks, and thanks to all of the folks who have participated in the annual St. Patrick's Day Go for the Green food drive. I know they've raised a lot of canned goods, a lot of food to help needy people through Catholic Charities. Well, we've got some fine-looking folks here. We will take a quick break, and we will come back with the 1990 St. Patrick's Day Parade. This is KSHB TV 41.
Sunday is a special occasion for The Simpsons.
It's my birthday?
No, Homer, it's mine. But when Homer's birthday gift strikes out...
Beauty, isn't she?
Well, it's hard for me to judge, since I've never bowled in my life.
Can the kids save the day?
First dibs, I get to lick the beaters.
The Simpsons. Then, why is Al acting so cranky?
It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning and you were kissing my daughter.
Sunday on KSHB, TV 41.
Where I left this. Wish me luck.
So that whole proposal is up for grabs? How come the council's voting today?
Oh, and I got 3 interviews on Friday. How did you find them?
So they ended up changing directors halfway through the picture.
Where did you hear that?
So how do you know which high school's leading the league?
Okay. So what makes you so smart?
Maybe I can help.
What can you do?
Tempt his tummy. Tempt your tummy with the taste of nuts and honey. Honey Nut Cheerios combines golden honey with crunchy nuts. Part of his complete breakfast. Try him.
He loves them. Look, he's going home.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall for Honey Nut Cheerios.
Getting an income tax refund? Here's some exciting ideas from Gaines Furniture Outlet. This Pretty and Plus group is now only $298. This sturdy early American set with solid oak frame is now only $288. And this fantastic price 3-piece set with rollover arms is only $149. Plus hundreds of other sets at factory direct prices. And you still get a free TV with your special purchase. Get your income tax refund and get on down to Gaines Furniture Outlet, just east of downtown off I-70 at 2405 Truman Road.
Nothing like the stirring sound of a pipe and drum band to march with. And this is one of the area's finest, the William Jewell Caledonian Pipe Band. They're a smart-looking, sharp-sounding organization from Liberty, Missouri.
And now, behind the pipers comes the band's double-decker British bus, carrying the families of some of the band members and other William Jewell dignitaries. So can follow along and enjoy the parade while we're enjoying the great music of the pipe band.
Have you ever ridden in a double-decker like that?
No, but it looks like fun.
On a windy day, I'm real curious.
Tom, we have a real treat coming up here in just a couple of moments. One of Kansas City's finest and favorite entertainers. There she is, Miss Marilyn May. Let's go to Ken Houston with Marilyn.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Kansas
Hello,
City.
Julie and Tom. We're here with Miss Marilyn May, one of Kansas City's own finest singers that's known internationally. Now, Miss May,
Yes.
how are you today?
I'm having the best time in my life.
Fantastic. Now, I understand this is one of your first times
It is
being
my
in the
first
parade.
time, my very first. I am so nervous, and Rosie is nervous. This is Rosie.
How you doing,
This is
Rosie?
Rosie O'May.
Uh-huh.
She's my baby.
Oh, she's looking fantastic.
Yes, and we dressed up. Yay! Oh, are they wonderful? Look at all these wonderful people.
You're an international singer, and look what we have here for you.
Sweetheart. Oh,
What's one of your favorite Irish songs?
a little bit of heaven.
A little bit of heaven.
And Same Old Shillelagh, and McNamara's Band, and all those wonderful songs.
You're a singer, so you probably have a list of them.
Then I recorded one called Step to the Rear. Everyone here kindly stand up and cheer and let the Irish lead the way.
Sounds good. Where will your next stop be?
I'm going to Los Angeles Monday. I have a convention there, and then I go to Palm Springs. Yeah!
All right, sounds good. All right, Miss May, thank you for being in
we
the
want to
parade,
thank
and we'll see you next time.
Marilyn May, and we want to thank Kenstero Houston for doing that. Marilyn, certainly a gem of the parade. These are the Elks for a Drug-Free Future.
Okay, the Overland Park Elks Lodge, number 2395, Thomas, was the winner in the 1990 organization category. Now, Gene Kennedy leads the Elks down Grand and says that hugs are better than drugs. No kidding. That's a good message. As we listen to Marilyn singing in the background, isn't that terrific?
Oh, she was great. You know, at the luncheon, she stood up and did just a cold, no warm-up whatsoever. did a song, and she was absolutely great. Following now, KMBC TV anchor Larry Moore and his family on the Channel 9 float. Many folks know Larry, of course, for his years in the local news business. His daughters run a dancing school that teach native Irish dances.
Now, wait a minute, Tom. I knew Larry had a lot of kids, but there's a whole bunch on that float.
Just the two biggest girls there are Larry Moore's. At least that's all he's admitting to right at this moment.
Okay, coming up next, Mr. C, we have another young group. Young folks are always an important part of the parade, and we can take a good look here. This is, make sure I know who this is, so I don't credit the wrong people.
Some of the kids from St. Pius X School in Mission, Kansas. Great bunch of kids.
There they are.
Top of the morning entry is what it's called.
This is the 6th year that the Pius kids have graced our parade, and they've got top hats on all 25 marchers, and they're decked out in spats and vests today. The Hogarty family. This is one of the parade favorites. They are Hogarty's heroes, and it is the family of the late Dan Hogarty, who, of course, was one of the founders of the modern parade. Now, Thomas, I know you remember the story about how Dan Hogarty and his buddy Mike Murphy dreamed up this whole parade, and on St. Patty's Day in 1973, they marched around the block, and the next year Dan Hogarty's family joined them, and, of course, the rest is parade history.
I would have to say that the
the
Hogartys may be stretching the weight limit there. What's up, Doc?
Why, it's Bugs Bunny coming down Grand Avenue in a Ford Mustang convertible. He's traveling in style. But don't look for this silly wabbit in your mulligan stew. Instead, you know, he is the star of a new exhibition at the Kansas City Museum at Town Pavilion. You can see Bugs and all his cartoon mates in That's All Folks through April 8th, and he's 50 years old, and he's looking good to me. I don't know.
I wish I looked half that good, even though I'm nowhere near well. Oh, why stretch it?
Okay.
Coming up next, we were supposed to see something big and beautiful, but it is not there. Instead, we have something that's a little bit smaller, but not bad at all.
This is
the St. Andrews Pipes and Drums from Kansas City.
Now, they have been in the parade, I understand, for the last 5 years. In 1989, they entered under the name of the Celtic Conundrum Pipe Band. This year, the band is sponsored by the St. Andrews Society, back marching under that name. And the band members are this day allowed to wear the uniform of their choice. I think that is that Foxzilla? He doesn't look quite...
Yes, he's down there.
Up for it today.
Foxzilla, I'm supposed to say that Foxzilla was out partying last night, doing a little bit of pre-St. Patrick's Day, and it is a little bit windy.
He looks a little tired today, but just remember, folks, when you're out celebrating today, make it a safe and sane St. Patrick's Day celebration.
Or you will, and actually, I think they may just be holding him down a little bit so they can clear some of the wires and things of that nature.
Well, he looks... I'll tell you what I've got for you here, Tom, and I know that you will toast the Irish today, so let me take just a moment here and give you a toast called Down in the Shamrock. And it goes, here's to the land of the shamrock so green, here's to each lad and his darling Colleen, here's to all those we love dearest and most, and God save old Ireland. That's an Irishman's toast, and you have my permission to use that today.
All righty, I will do that. Well, coming up in the parade right now, Crystal Limousine Service, and this has Kathy McGuire and Pete McCluskey as well. They are the co-chairpersons of this year's parade, and they have done a great job getting it all together. And then we have that crazy little leprechaun, Brogeen Malarkey, in the back. And, of course, the cars are in the parade, courtesy of the folks at Crystal Limousine Service. We certainly thank them.
Nice transportation.
And
I'd say they're going in style.
Comes the fox. He's recovered. Talk about a guy who will do anything to get on television.
I'll tell you. He's standing up right here in front of our cameras. You know, it is... We should give the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee a big round of applause, Tom, because they really do work so hard, not only maybe for a few weeks, but all year round to make this parade possible every year. And, of course, there's all the other celebrations that go along with it. You mentioned the luncheon, the Wolf Tones concert. So St. Patrick's Day for a lot of folks in Kansas City isn't just March the 17th, but it goes on a long time in addition to that day.
And, of course, we have the Brookside Parade that
That's right.
took place last week. We had Snake Parade in North Kansas City last week as well. So this is a great town for celebrating with the Irish. There's the fogs. It's a beautiful day, sunny day, but it is windy enough so that the folks trying to hold the fox down could, at some point along the parade,
I think they could, like, lose
be
it.
airborne.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Thanksgiving time. Maybe next year we could get Garfield or somebody here for the parade. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
I'd like to have Garfield and Snoopy. They're all Irish, aren't they?
That's Snoopy to you.
Oh, Snoopy, yes. And I guess that's McCluskey today.
That's who it is. And as you can see, they are struggling to keep Foxzilla on the ground. And hopefully our camera person way up above, right by Foxzilla.
Well, Tom, coming down the street now is a very popular float inhabited by the Sweeney clan. They were the 1989 overall winners in the parade, and their float depicting Bunratty Castle and the Dirty Nellie's Pub, it says here. Two of the Sweeney clan's favorite stops on their trips to Ireland. But it has been updated a little for this year's parade. The Sweeneys say that as they look to the Irish future, wow, David Bassey and the City Light Orchestra, I'm impressed.
Those guys are great. And bringing up the rear of the Sweeney float is Miss Kansas City. The pageant is tonight. That'll be held at Center High School. This is Kelly Farrell.
And I think I recognize this float, some of these folks. This is your television host for this parade, KSHB TV 41. I have to tell everybody Tom built the float.
I'm blushing.
So let's find out more about it. Shall we go to Mr. O'Houston?
Let's go to the Kenster.
Here's the Kinster, loud and clear. Thanks, Tom and Julie. With me right now is the general manager of KSHB TV 41, my boss, Bob Wormington.
Again, great to be here. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, it is. Now, tell me, how did we come up with the idea for the theme this year?
The parade committee came up with the idea of Ireland of the future, so we came up with the idea of a spaceship flying over a castle in Ireland. And Tom Christensen, who's here, did it.
So this guy can do more than the news.
He can do anything. He's going to go to work for NASA and recover that lost satellite that's up there somewhere.
All right, we don't want to.
Beautiful day.
Yes, it is. I think the luck of the Irish is on our side today.
The Irish is always with us. Fine.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. We're going to get out of the way because I think we're holding up the parade.
That's all right. We don't want to hold up any parade today.
All right, thanks again. All right, back to you, Tom and Julie.
Geez, I'm wondering. I'm going to work for NASA. I wasn't aware of that. Could that mean job security out the window? Oh, my goodness.
Tom, but you did a great job. It's a terrific float. We've got some other fine folks coming up here.
The Parish Workers Association, 30 marchers with a float. Their title, The Irish Helping Irish. And this is a pretty appropriate theme when you think about it. It's the Parish Workers Association that helps the parade committee collect food for the hungry of Kansas City. It's an annual food drive operated by the parade committee and supervised by the Parish Workers Association. So we thank them for all of their very hard work.
Well, look at here. I think I recognize another green fellow. That is Gumby. And in addition, Dallas McKinnon, who is the voice of Gumby. He is well known in Hollywood for his cartoon work. In addition to Gumby, he's also worked for the Walt Disney Studio, and for animator Walter Lantz. I was trying to get a couple things in there together.
He smells
I was trying to do my Woody Woodpecker imitation. And the next time you see a rerun of the Old Western Gunsmoke, look for Dallas McKinnon. He made several guest appearances on that show as well.
And now Gumby should have some fans in this next group. 80 little ones. Actually, they're not all that little, are they? From St. Patrick's Elementary School of Kansas City, Kansas. And their unit is titled The Fighting Irish.
Sorry, guys. Notre Dame lost yesterday, but what the heck. Says that this group was so anxious to be here, Tom, that the grade school turned in their parade application back in December before Christmas. Now that's planning ahead.
Way ahead.
St. Patrick's Day Green Club was just going by us, and now it looks like we have some more of the fine folks. These are the Knights of Columbus, the 4th degree, the Thomas Mayer Council of Kansas City. The Knights of Columbus have been a service organization associated with the Catholic Church for many, many years, and their countless charity efforts are too numerous to mention here, but we will just say thanks once again to these good folks and friends of the parade for joining us once again this year. I think we have some more Knights of Columbus marching down the street here. Nice hats.
Where do they get those things?
Hello. Speaking of hats.
Happy St. Patrick's.
And he's a member of the Knights of Columbus. All right.
Well, coming next on the Great Green Grand Avenue, the Knights of Columbus, 4th degree Council of Kansas City. We've just seen those guys go by.
Next we have a famous Kansas City Irish family, the Ronan and O'Toole clans. This is their 9th year in the parade, Thomas, and I'm sure that they will be a crowd pleaser as they have always been. There are about 40 to 50 marchers and some additional leprechauns in the group. And can you think of a better way to salute Kansas City's Irish than with leprechauns cavorting in a green fountain? And that is what their float is designed around this year. I think we're looking at a bunch of Ronans and O'Tooles right now. And there is the float with the leprechauns and the fountain. Green, of course.
Green and cavorting, did you say? Okay, as we continue with the 1990 Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Dodge is hot.
Red hot.
It's a sizzling success celebration.
We're turning up the heat.
Sizzling savings on Cummins Turbo Diesel.
The hardest working diesel pickup there is.
On midsize Dakotas.
More cargo capacity and available payload than any Japanese compact pickup.
Unmatched full-size savings.
On Ram Tough Pickup, the sizzling success celebration.
Hurry, ends March 31st.
At Bob Haas, Raytown, Summit, John Wallace, Doug's, Gladstone, and Weinberg.
At Kansas City Power and Light, more than 2,800 specialists are working to meet your energy needs, each with unique talents, knowledge, and skills. Together, they're your resource for energy expertise. Answering questions, solving problems, getting it done. Your energy team, Kansas City Power and Light. Ask us about energy.
American Spires just returned from the National Waterbed Show. Now, semis full of new inventory are on the way. For stamp, they are warehouses to make room. Hundreds of our most popular waterbeds and bedrooms at American's lowest prices. No money down, no interest, no payments for 6 full months. That's right, nothing down, nothing to pay, no interest for 6 months. Final chance at American Waterbeds.
Try a waterbed, you'll love it.
Hey, you'll love the savings right now at American.
Hey kids, Icecapades is 50 years old, and KSHB, TV41, and Venture want you to attend the celebration. Stop by any participating Venture store location for a coloring sweepstakes entry blank featuring Mattel's Icecapades Barbie. If your entry is the winner, you'll receive 4 tickets to the Thursday night performance of Icecapades featuring Barbie and your very own Barbie doll from Venture. Hurry and register by March 30th in Venture's Toy Department. Experience the thrill of the 50th anniversary edition of Icecapades, coming to Kemper Arena Tuesday, April 3rd through Sunday, April 8th.
We're back. I'm Julie Lex, along with the grand old man of the KSHB TV St. Patrick's Day celebration, Mr. Tom Christensen. And here's a float that's a sure winner in any St. Patrick's Day parade, Tom, because it celebrates Notre Dame of football. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame were the national champions in 1988, and they repeated last season. And it looks like the crowd is behind the Fighting Irish today. And, of course, it is the fellow who looks like football coach Lou Holtz on that float. I don't know if that was really him or not.
I think we better check some IDs on some of that if those guys are the Fighting Irish. It's like some of the fight's been taken out of them.
Okay, now, Tom, I have to interrupt you here because this next group coming up here are some of my relatives. This is the Aylward clan. and they are here with their Irish eyes smiling. The potato sack from the Dublin Potato Company has filled all the little Aylward potatoes on the trailer and out onto Grand Avenue. There are 30 or so members of the Aylward clan here today with another 20 marching around the side, and we are delighted to have them here with all of their Irish eyes.
And if they get out of control, I've got one of the biggest potato mashers around town.
You're talking about my family now. Watch it, bud.
Now this next group is certainly recognizable in the Kansas City area. Here comes the Marching Cobras, as I'm sure just about anybody who's been in Kansas City for any time at all is familiar with this drum and bugle corps. They've been around a long time, and as the case every year, they put on a great performance for the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
The people in the tree at some point. There are, Thomas, these are always crowd pleasers, as you can tell, and there are people across the street sitting in a tree watching this parade.
Actually, as the Marching Cobras go marching off,
there they are.
There they are.
Thank you very much. Yes, now that's quite a seat. That may be better than our seat for this parade.
There's about 3 or 4 trees directly across from us, and as you can see, it looks like Christmas ornaments of living, breathing people up there.
That's great. All right, the McGuire clan, yes, they are always a welcome addition to the parade. They've won in years past, I'm sure of that. Joe McGuire and the Irish Kingdom yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And, of course, if we haven't mentioned it, the theme of the 1990 parade is the Irish future. And we have the famous McGuire drill team, and I think they're going into action for us right now. Nice work. Oh, no. I think we have some more McGuire folks coming up the street here. Their float has been spruced up this year, and it is, I'd say that's a rather jet age looking, speaking of things from NASA.
That is the car of the future. I don't know who handed us these little things right here. Almost looked like dynamite to me. I was ducking, but apparently it's an Irish poem or something in there.
All right. One of the
gifts.
Family says.
The McGuires in their futuristic car.
They really go all out. We have a drill team, we have a car, we have a float. The McGuire family's obviously been working for a long time getting
They have been putting it all together for weeks and weeks. This is the Z Alpha Rho Business Sorority. They're making their first appearance in the parade. The 35 members are part of a professional business women's organization. We're very proud to have them join us on this St. Patrick's Day Parade.
The audience likes that. Getting a big hand. Oh, I know these fellas. Yes, it's Jerry Fogel and Mike Shannon, the morning host of KCMO Talk Radio. Mike Shannon, of course, is one of the MCs every year of the annual St. Patrick's Day Luncheon, as he was this past Monday. And we'll have them on AM Live on Tuesday of this week, so you can see Mike and Jerry again.
Assuming they survive this thing.
Here, yes, there he is, the famous garbage truck, and on it, one of the founders of the parade, Mr. Mike Murphy. And we're
The Kenster is supposedly up there somewhere. I hope he hasn't fallen in. We will wait and see. Oh, okay, no, there he is. He's right behind Mike Murphy. What a fine mode of transportation.
Look at this. Kenneth, are you there with Mr. Murphy?
I'm all here. Yes, I am, Julie and Tom. I'm here with Mr. Murphy right here, the founder of this parade. How are you today, Mike?
I'm doing excellent. Just superb. This is the biggest crowd I've ever seen down here.
Yes, it is. I understand that we expect maybe more than 250 people today.
More than 250 people.
250,000, excuse me. We have over 100,000 right now.
What did you hear? 250,000, really?
Yes, I did.
That's great, boy. We finally looked out, got some weather, and this is the first good day we've had in about 5 years.
Oh, yes. Thanks a lot, Mike. Back to you, Julie and Tom.
Thanks, Kenster. Oh, Houston there, you did a great job running after him. Once again, a replica of the Missouri River Queen cruises past the Irishman of Kansas City. Live musicians jazz up the parade route for the replica, one of the gems of the mighty Missouri River. Back again in our parade.
Good music.
This is the Kansas City Academy of Learning. It's showing off a green 1968 Dodge Cornet 500. That is a Dodge Cornet 500. Give me a break.
Wait a minute.
Anyway,
Even I know that.
That is a great institution. The Kansas City Academy of Learning is a private, not-for-profit alternative school on Armour Boulevard.
And Thomas, here is another good Irish family. It looks like they're heading our way. This is the O'Neill clan, and they are moving down the parade route with a float they call the First King of Ireland. Their theme, and you've got to hand it to the O'Neills, is a pretty clever one this year. The red hand in the sail on the boat is part of the family crest. The story goes that their ancestor, Prince Neil, was in a race to the northeast coast of Ireland, and the first family there would rule the land, according to this legend. The prince, dissatisfied with the pace of his boat and worried he would lose, cut off his hand and threw it ashore, touching land first, so to speak, to win the race and rule the kingdom. And hence the red hand on the family crest and the red gloves worn today by many members of the O'Neill family.
And that O'Neill family has been known to try and sway the judges, by the way. Right behind them, two of Kansas City's most popular athletes. No, my name is not here. Steve DeBerg of the Kansas City Chiefs. And it says of the Kansas City Royals. Obviously, that is not Steve DeBerg of the Kansas City Royals. That is DeBerg of the Chiefs. And we can't see who is representing the Royals back there. We will just have to wait and see. That's the DeBergmeister.
Wait a second, this is an Irish parade, Tom.
Oh, sorry, but nobody knows.
As we mentioned earlier, it is always a tradition of St. Patrick's Day parades in Kansas City and probably throughout the world that a number of area politicians join in the festivities, and we have a group of them that are coming by us right now. We'll let you take a look at them. Well, I'm just so excited here. I think we need to take a rest for a moment, Tom. So we will go sell something, and we will be back with more of the 1990 Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade on KSHB TV 41.
I left this. Wish me luck.
Pizza Hut bets you can't resist this new deal.
Right now, get a Pepperoni Lovers, Cheese Lovers Plus, or Meat Lovers Pizza for just $8.99, or any two for $12.99. Pepperoni Lovers, piled with pepperoni. Cheese Lovers Plus, 3 cheeses and a choice of 2 toppings. Or Meat Lovers, loaded with 6 delicious meats. Pick one for $8.99, or any two for $12.99. It's a deal you're guaranteed to love.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
Listen to the sounds of a whole other world. Apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Real apple, whole grain oats, and cinnamon make every O taste as great as it sounds.
Listen to the sounds of a whole other O. Apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Wait a minute. You're telling me Total Raisin Bran has 4 times the vitamin nutrition of my Raisin Bran?
That's right, 4 times.
It tastes just as good.
Actually better.
And the question is, can I think of a reason why I shouldn't buy Total Raisin Bran?
Correct.
4 times the nutrition. I should be buying Total Raisin Bran. What kind of a question is that?
It's a question of nutrition.
Okay, believe it or not, the lady you are about to see right there almost lost her life to the fox when he went through. They were raising the boom up, and you might have heard a loud roaring cheer, and that was because everybody right around our stand that we have set up down here on 18th and Grand was taking bets on whether or not Susan was going to make it over the fox, and the guy operating the boom was going up, and there was a bit of fear on her face, but she managed to make it, and I hope she's getting double or triple time up there. If she's not, she ought to be, and we'll talk to the boss about it, huh?
Well, a big hand for Susan, and also for our Jackson County Executive Bill Ware, as he is in the parade this year. And, of course, with this being election year, I know that he's out there shaking a few hands and kissing a few babies for the float. Now, Waris is telling everybody who'll listen that he's half Lebanese and, of course, today, half Irish.
We've heard it before, though,
yes.
haven't we?
Yes.
And we haven't bought it yet, I hope.
All right.
We have a bit of a break here, but as we continue, here's one of the most amazing and very popular floats every year. It's Soldier Dan O'Connor. John O'Connor is driving this 150-year-old Irish jaunting cart, believe it or not. It's pulled by his old pal Charlie the Talking Horse. That's an amazing deal, and in tow members of the Soldier Dan O'Connor clan. And this marks their 2nd decade in the Kansas City Parade. We're very proud to have them back every year.
There are the O'Connors, and they're leading the cheers of the folks on the sidelines. I have relatives named O'Connor. I'm not sure of these particular O'Connors, but as
an O'Connor is an O'Connor. They're interchangeable.
Everybody's related today. Everybody is related. Okay, speaking of loyal friends of this parade, here comes the band from Ryan's Carry Patch. That's a fine Irish-themed restaurant in the Northlands of Kansas City, owned by that good Irishman, Dick Ryan. The van is pulled by an Irish wagon, and this has been a unit in the parade since the very earliest days, way back in the 1970s, Tom.
Way back then, huh? I tell you what, we've got a little bit of a break in the action here, and so we will take a break too. This is the 1990 Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade. Don't go away.
Your Kansas City Metro Dodge dealers, the Missouri Lottery, and KSHB TV 41 bring you a St. Patrick's Day you'll never forget.
No, ma'am, we're not serving ice cream. No ice cream, ma'am. Hi, it's Randy Miller, and tonight it's going to happen. KSHB TV 41 celebrate St. Patrick's Day with me, Randy Miller, and the cats right behind me. We'll all be aboard a flatbed truck and just loving every second of it. Starts at 9 tonight, KSHB TV 41.
Dodge is hot.
Red hot.
It's a sizzling success celebration.
We're turning up the heat.
Sizzling savings on Spirit.
A better value than Nissan Stanza.
On a fiery Daytona.
More available horsepower than Nissan 240 SX.
Even the searing Shadow.
More horsepower than Nissan Sentra. The sizzling success celebration.
Hurry, ends March 31st.
At Bob Haas, Raytown, Summit, John Wallace, Doug's, Gladstone, and Weinberg.
Think 561-1999.
Think 561-1999. Think Rodney DeYoung.
When you need quality, affordable auto liability insurance, just pick up the phone and call
Rodney DeYoung.
And remember, you pay for your auto insurance the way you use it, 1 month at a time with
Rodney DeYoung.
Think 561-1999.
Think Rodney DeYoung. Think Young. Listen to the sounds of a whole other home. Apple cinnamon Cheerio.
Real apples, whole grain oats, and cinnamon make every O taste as great as it sounds.
Listen to the sounds of a whole other O. Apple cinnamon Cheerio.
Well, welcome back. You've seen some motorized horses, but how about some llamas? We admit this parade is not filled with animals, but there is another St. Patty parade that features 2 live llamas, llamas, whatever those things are. Anyway, this is kind of unique here, and we have it in the Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade. This is the entry from the Friends of the Zoo. They want to remind you that green is also for the habitat, and with them, of course, the ATA's Zoo Animal Buzz.
They're very well behaved,
Aren't
llamas. They're doing a nice job. Coming up here is an entry from the parade's friends over in Bonner Springs at the Agricultural Hall of Fame. They have a 4-foot Irish potato, it says, and of course this is a salute to the Irish farmer, and there are countless stories about how hard the Irish farmer has had to struggle through the years, not always with success. Of course, famine forced many to flee Ireland in the 19th century. That's why we have so many Irish people here in America. The Ag Hall of Fame salutes the Irish farmer and his struggle to make his country bountiful.
Well, one of the best things about this parade is the chance to get to see the faces behind the voice, the radio van and car. Dick Wilson, morning host with Dan Donovan, and you know this lady, Katie McGuire.
I sure do. They're all looking fine today on this St. Patrick's Day.
They certainly are. This, of course, the Oldies 95 float, KCMO FM radio. 10 members of the Oldies 95 staff are riding through the parade, telling the Irish here that the fun is back.
Well, now, Katie's a fine Irish woman. Yes. Hi, Katie. Oh, Katie.
And look at the ham. Come on, McGuckin.
All right. She's having a good time.
We better tell the director, Larry, to give her the hook.
All right, next up, Mr. Thomas, we have the Curie of Ars Parish, and they are here to remind you, since the youth of this world represents the future, Irish or otherwise, that's what they're featuring today. The young people here surround a fountain of youth, sounds good to me, that rises high into the air. And there it is, there's the Fountain of Youth. And this fountain sprouts the dreams of the Irish generation. Harmony, a united nation, and understanding for everybody. That's a very nice thought from Reverend Micheal Mahoney and the Curie of Ars Church.
And what a motley crew, huh?
Speaking of Irish dreams here, we have the McGuire, Mulvaney, and Grogan families. And it is a fantasy float representing past and present. The shamrock proclaims the year 1990. A giant rainbow spans the clouds and ends with a traditional Irish pot of gold.
As we see the McGuire, Grogan, Mulvaney's go walking by, more than 50 folks are reminding us on this float of the March of Dime. Carmen Portfield brought this group into the parade for the very first time this year, and we certainly are glad that they made it. We're enjoying them. They seem to be having a good time, so maybe this is the start of something good, huh?
I think once you get involved in the parade, Tom, then folks just keep coming back because they want to do something bigger and more elaborate and better every year.
And somewhere, we might mention, somewhere along the line, we will see actually some people are getting married during this parade as they go marching down, believe it or not. We were keeping an eye out for that. That is, the bird is not getting married. No, the O'Connors are coming.
The O'Connors are not getting married either, but they are certainly old friends of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. This is Mike O'Connor and his family from Gardner, Kansas. They are marching. They also have a float in the parade this year.
year number 11 for the O'Connor clan. You believe that?
All
They
the
have
folks
been
in
around a long
Gardner.
time.
That is terrific.
And there is the bride.
Wait a minute. Is this the
This
wedding?
is it.
Wait a minute. This is...
That is
that
the bride
another
actually married in this parade, believe it or not. And she went to the wrong side, so we don't get a shot of her.
Can't see her, but they are looking good.
But some people will do anything to get on TV, won't they?
An Irish wedding. It sounds good to me. It's the Irish reception that's the most fun, though.
And the Athea Fire Brigade, you might have heard the loud bang. It's courtesy of these folks with their water cannons, I guess, as they mosey on by us. Now here's a popular float and a popular theme with the Irish. The Lynch family presents their conception of the Irish future, a nation once again. That's reference to the eventual reunification of the Republic and Northern Ireland that some hope for. It's also the name of a popular Irish nationalist song. It was written by Thomas Osborne Davis on his deathbed in 1845. Its chorus includes the lines, a nation once again, and Ireland, long a province be, a nation once again.
Isn't that clever? Country of Ireland dividing and going back together. Thomas, I have just been informed that we may have broken some kind of a record. It is 56 degrees here today.
First time we've had to wear sunglasses. First time we're not all decked out in thermal underwear.
I am. Tom, these are the Wheatley Warriors that we're looking at right now. They join us this year with nearly 100 members of the staff, faculty, and students. They have a student leprechaun and is leading a snake, which happens to be a study area for this science and math magnet. Some of the students are wearing shamrocks, and many are doing the cool Wheatley cheer. The Phyllis Wheatley Math and Science Magnet is a new entry in the parade this year, and we welcome them to the St. Patrick's Day celebration.
And that is Billy Tippin, who just happens to be the principal of Wheatley. Drives in style. It's a great crowd, a great day for this, and as you said, it's definitely one of the few times the Irish can actually say they've been very lucky for this parade anyway.
The luck of the Irish is indeed paid off. This is the McCleary clan, I believe, coming up the street. For 12 years, the Jack McCleary and Kathy Murphy clan have been reunited with this parade. This year, they are showing us an Irish reunion at grandmother's house. There are about 40 folks are riding on this flatbed truck, and I think you can tell from looking at them that they are indeed enjoying every minute of today's celebration. The audience watching is enjoying them as well.
I believe our photographer, Jonathan Godey, may deserve some combat pay out there as well, if you'll notice just how close he has to come to get some of these shots. He is almost being run over by some of these floats.
But he is a brave man, Jonathan, and you are doing a fine job today. I believe here we have Ireland Violin Studio. They are back in the parade again, marching this year. Michael Ireland is leading his violin students as they play traditional Irish jigs and reels arranged for the violin. They were here for several years in the early 80s, and we are delighted to have them back again. And Tom, stay in your chair. Do not get up and do an Irish jig yet. We'll save that for the big finish.
That's the finale. Now comes the Lynch family float, I believe. Is that right? Are we that far along? No, we're already...
Yes, we are checking. This is a group of veterans, I believe, in the parade this year.
Sure.
These are the Cassidys. At least that's what my notes say. This is the Cassidy family. They've been a part of the parade longer than they can remember. At least that's what they say. And they have made some special vehicles in order to transport themselves down Grand Street today for this parade. I think that they found just about every kind of vehicle that they could imagine to put it in the parade. 61 Country is coming up next. This is their mobile studio van, and of course we put them in number 61 in the parade. One of the most popular stations in the area. They are always a hit. And David Bryant, who shares his time between 61 Country and is our announcer at KSHB TV 41, is, I believe, standing right there.
There is David right there. The man behind the voice.
Standing right behind the logo there.
And next up is
this group. You can just see the end of the group. They call themselves the Emerald City Marching Band. And behind the Irish music of that group, it looks like maybe the O'Sullivan family. It says that this particular group that you see here, their motto is one note at a time. They claim to perform Irish melodies along the parade route, unrestricted by harmony or pitch. Hey, I could sing with that group. Following behind is are these the O'Sullivans? O'Sullivan's wave, say hi to us. There's the Emerald City group.
We knew we would find them sooner or later on these. Wouldn't it be nice if the parade always matched these scripts? I see we have Marilyn May standing right out in front of us with her tiny little Irish dog, or
I like that hat. That's
whatever
a
that
great
thing
hat.
is, isn't that? She definitely looks Irish. And we've talked about Emerald City, right?
And we've got the O'Sullivans up right now. The O'Sullivan family presents the O'Sullivan Village for your enjoyment this afternoon. The future of Ireland, they say, is related to the past and connected to the future through the children of the families, and that is very true. So I imagine we have a number of generations of O'Sullivans represented today in the parade. Nice. Love. Everybody works so hard on these, Tom. You can drive around some different neighborhoods and see all the family members getting together to build the float.
Do that, and also, you know, as windy as it is, we've been pretty lucky. I've not seen anything that has blown down, been torn down, so everybody has done a great job on getting things built the way they were supposed to have been.
We have a fine group of young people in front of us right now, but these are the Cheerbringers of America. And they are performing for us today, as I believe they do on a number of different occasions throughout the city.
These folks are all part of the Kansas City Spirit Festival, another downtown celebration that's very unique to Kansas City. Well, as we watch the Cheerbringers of America prance right by us, we will take a short break, and then we will continue with the 1990 Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade.
More and more people have stopped buying new parts for their cars because they're saving up to 80% on salvage parts from A&W Auto Salvage. A&W is always knowledgeable, professional, and friendly. They specialize in General Motors parts. If they don't have what you need in stock, they'll find it for you the same day. A&W pays cash for General Motors wrecks, and they specialize in recovered theft repair on T-tops and steering columns. So if you need a part for your General Motors car or truck, but don't need to spend your entire paycheck, look for the A&W Auto Salvage on Southwest Boulevard, 6 blocks the Missouri side of State Line. A&W, where you'll find a good part for a great price.
Hey, chicken.
But where's the stuffing? Chicken's almost done, now it's time to make stuffing. Stovetop makes it easy, just push a little button. It's Stovetop stuffing for your microwave oven. Yeah!
Stovetop microwave stuffing is so easy to make. Just pour it into its own tray, add water, and microwave. In just 3 minutes, you get that great stovetop taste.
Stovetop makes it easy, just push a little button. It's Stovetop stuffing for your microwave oven.
You know, when you got it right, you got it right. Whether you're talking about this, or whether you're talking about the one and only Diet Cola that does it for Ray, Diet Pepsi. You know, nothing tastes as good to me as Diet Pepsi. All right, now who is the wise guy?
Diet Pepsi with 100% NutraSweet.
Now, that's the right one, baby.
Ford F-150, Kansas City's #1 truck, because it outpowers, outhauls, and outsells Chevy. And now your Greater Kansas City Ford dealers deliver the knockout punch. Get this F-150 equipped with power windows, AM/FM cassette, speed control, tilt steering, and more. And Ford will give you automatic transmission and air conditioning at no extra charge. Plus, get $750 cash back. Hurry to your Greater Kansas City Ford dealer while the selection is outstanding.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Well, how apropos that this should happen to me. If nothing else, this is certainly a parade that has a sense of humor as we present Cameo's lingerie own version of the famous Irish saying, Erin Go Bra.
Tom, that's really Erin Go Bra, so B-R-A-U-G-H, and it means Ireland forever.
I guess we'll just have to leave it at that.
He's been waiting all day for that float to go by, and
I love
following,
that float.
we have Norman Soccer Club, and they have an international theme to their entry. They call it football in the old country, but of course it is soccer here, and popularity is growing. They're wishing both the Irish national team and the Americans the best in this summer's World Cup tournament in Italy, and the folks from WHB AM are back with us. This is the 7th year, AM 71 WHB, all oldies all the time, they say. And it looks like they are indeed rocking and a-rolling as they go by us here. David Urap, a friend of mine, is waving to me from that float as they go by.
One of the best things about this parade, of course, are the friendships that are renewed. And this is the Donnellys, O'Ford, McQuaid's, and Fitzgerald's, Irishmen who have been in Kansas City for generations.
And following them, we've got some more terrific drill teams from our area. This one is from St. Stephen's Church, and let's let them strut their stuff, okay? If I'm not mistaken, the St. Stephen's drill team has won the drill team division in this parade. And the audience is really enjoying their performance today.
And a big Irish welcome now to the Neil Palmer family and his 1931 Struts antique fire engine. This is Palmer's first year with us. They're in period attire, and the truck's appropriately decorated with a sign paying tribute to the Irish heroes of our fire department. And there are certainly plenty of those.
One of my grandfathers, my Irish grandfathers, was on the fire department here in Kansas City. In fact, I think maybe both of them were at one point or another. I'd say the Palmers made a pretty good presentation for their first year in the parade.
They certainly have. Where do you park an old fire truck when it's not in a parade?
In a garage so it doesn't get damaged.
Well, you've all heard of the McNamara's band, right? How about Monk Namara's band? This is Patricia Cox's idea. She and some of her neighbors are playing jigs and reels on homemade instruments, and they also feature a precision drill team. Well, take a look, and they're trying anyway.
I love it.
Looks like a good time anyway, doesn't it?
And just think it could have rained today, and they would have been all set. Monk Namara's band. I like that.
What a great float coming up next. This is the Jeffrey Mobile. Toys R Us have brought their mascot Jeffrey and his family of giraffes That's right, giraffes. We've had it all. Llamas, motorized horses, now giraffes to the Kansas City to help celebrate the day with us. This is sure to be a delight for the little folks up and down the parade route.
Isn't he cute? Yes, this is great. Well, this is a family occasion, Tom. Irish of all generations are here today enjoying the festivities.
The Geoffrey.
Yes. Coming up next, a group that has been around and been with the St. Patrick's Day Parade for a long time. This is a parade favorite from the O'Rourke and Sweeney families. And, of course, they gather together a number of their friends to come with them, too. It is called A Toast to the Irish, and it features an Irish pub, and we find there Mr. Ken Houston.
That's right, Julie. I'm standing right here with Tom O'Rourke. Hello, Tom. How are you doing?
Fine.
How long have you been in the parade?
1981.
1981. Now, there's something interesting about this float. Tell me about this little leprechaun right here. How was it constructed?
These guys are all constructed with chicken wire, and then there's batten inside, and their sculpture is all soft formed and painted, just formed into their likeness.
Okay, you've been in it for 8 years. How much longer do you plan on being in it?
As long as I'm alive.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Tom. Back to you, Tom and Julie.
Thank you, Ken. Great job. You know, he has a tough job. He has to run after those floats, and they don't seem to be slowing down at all.
Keeps Ken exercising. We have coming up here Colgate-Palmolive here joining us this year. This is their very first year in the parade, as a matter of fact, and of course they produce Irish Spring soap, and what a perfect place to advertise that product. And then right here with all these Irish folks today. The Colgate-Palmolive entry. From the new to the old here, this is the O'Donnell clan, and they are back for their 11th year. They're not old people. They've just been in the parade for a long time. Their float is titled King of the Leprechauns, the O'Donnells. And of course, they have His Highness seated on his throne, surrounded by his court and the riches of the realm, which includes, of course, that pot of gold. Those folks are smiling like they found the pot of gold, huh? This float is being pulled by an antique O'Donnell fire truck.
Well, we've had the Marching Cobras. How about the Marching Cougars? That is who is up next. Brian Wilson presents the 65-person unit, and they are making their first appearance in the parade.
Yep. They are doing a fine job today. Nice debut performance. I bet they're out to win that drill team award. What do you think?
I would have to say they're giving it their best shot.
Of course, Thomas, the judges are right across the street from us, so we get prime performance because they are showing off with the judges and hoping to win some of the awards at this year's festivities.
I wonder, are they judging us at all? I
hope not. Let's say a prayer to St. Patrick that they're not.
And we kind of mentioned it earlier in the parade, but we have just been informed that the real, genuine wedding, as you see, for the first time ever, a real wedding is being performed in this parade. That's Jan Hall and Richard Jones. They're tying the knot right here, right before your very eyes. Married for 13 years, then divorced for 13 years. At a son's wedding this winter, they reunited and thought this would be a fun place to go ahead and do it all over again. So our congratulations go out. I don't know if that's romantic or not.
Oh, I think that is. Jan Hall and Richard Jones. And, of course, we not only wish them all the best, but hope that they come back next year. And I think Ken Houston's been invited to the wedding. Ken?
Yes, I have, Julie. And if we would just listen closely, we'll listen to a few of the vows.
To heaven, to home. This day forward. Better for worse. Better for worse. Richer for poor. Sickness and health.
Love and to cherish.
To love and to cherish.
Till death do us part.
Till death do us part.
According to God's holy ordinance.
According to God's holy.
Can you believe that, Kansas City? We're actually witnessing a wedding right here in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Now, I'm talking with the daughter of the couple right now. And what's your name again?
Lori.
Lori, what do you think about this wedding taking place?
I think it's wonderful. I think this is the way to do it.
This is the way to do it. All right, we're going to witness them putting on the rings right now.
For as much as Dick Jones and Jan Jones have consented together in holy wedlock and have witnessed the same for God in this country, they too have given and pledged their oath each to the other and have declared the same by giving and receiving a ring and by joining hands. I pronounce that they are man and wife in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You may kiss your bride.
There it is.
There you have it, Kansas City. Back to you, Tom and Julie.
Kenster, I want to know, what did you get the bride and groom for their wedding gift?
I have it in my coat pocket in my car. Back to you, Tom and Julie.
Thank you, Ken. Well, there you've had a chance to see a very first and actual, genuine, real wedding performed.
I think
in
we
this
have
parade.
seen it all now, Tom. That is terrific. Best wishes to Jan and Richard, the happy couple, as they are reunited.
Next comes the float from Parents
Kissing the
Without
bride.
Partners.
There they are, kissing the bride. Another fine tradition there.
I've got to run out and do that myself. I'll be back in a minute. Well, as I started to say, next comes the float with Parents Without Partners, who've lined these folks up after a wedding. Float must have a rather strange sense of humor, huh? Who's in charge of parade lining up there? And what else do we have?
It looks like we have had a wedding, and we're going to have a birthday party celebrated here today. But I'll tell you, I don't know, after the wedding, I think maybe we need to go out and get some punch and cake. So we'll take a break, see if there's any refreshments on the wedding float, and we'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes here. The 1990 Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Parents and grandparents, mark your calendars for April 6, 7, and 8 for the Child's Fair, sponsored by KSHB, TV41, and Frank Ancona Honda, the guy with a jillion Hondas. Spend a day with your kids enjoying live entertainment, pony rides, strolling cartoon characters, play areas, hands-on activities and exhibits, and much more. The cost is only $4 for adults, $1 for kids 3 to 12, and kids 2 and under are free. The Child's Fair. For more information, call 451-0091.
Really? Yeah, I read the profile in Parade magazine.
That was a great show last night. How did you know?
How did you find a house so soon after moving here?
So, then I said, if you're looking for what's new in Kansas City, there's only one place to look.
Okay, where can I go to find out?
Rock and roll is okay, but I prefer rap.
Awesome. Wait a second. Shady Acres was supposed to get the Coke, and the frat house was supposed to get the Pepsi.
Coke, Pepsi, what's the difference?
I-24.
This is radical.
This is the world's most powerful proton accelerator. I started working with the controls group at Fermilab right out of DeVry. No additional training, no working my way up. That's because I got the right education.
At DeVry, you learn today's technology, current real-world education. Skills that let you be productive right from the start.
If you're serious about getting someplace fast, do what I did. Call DeVry.
1-800-247-7800. DeVry, we're serious about success.
Welcome back. We are having a great time downtown here at 18th and Grand on this year's Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade. We want to thank the folks from Capital Electric. They supplied us with our bucket cam, and even though Susan may have had a fright or two up there, it's been a great angle and giving us certainly some spectacular view of this year's parade.
And giving you a chance to see a lot of the activity going down the street. We have a bus here. Who is this bus filled with? This is the Chowing family. Their antique bus is rolling down the street, and their antique business decorated for the day with 21 members of the family. They're all inside the bus and having a good time. Some O'Briens and some Flannerys are on that bus saying hi to everyone in Kansas City and honking their horn loudly.
And now up from the plaza, one of the great traditions that make the plaza a unique shopping center. Surrey Limited has some teams in Surrey's promenading down Grand Avenue. MJ LaDonna says they have more than 20 horses. Most of them spent most of their time in a pasture. Each animal is checked regularly by a vet to make sure they're healthy and fit to do their job on the plaza. Each horse works only about a month out of the year, and during that month, about 20 days. So I would like a job like that.
Well, coming up next, we have 6 members of the Patton Realtors firm. They are back joining us in the parade again this year. They've been good friends of the Great Irish Celebration for the last 6 years, and we're delighted to have them back. And speaking of going in style, there's another way of traveling in grand fashion down Grand Avenue today. How come we didn't get a limo to bring us here, Tom?
It's a very good question. We will negotiate with the big guy next year on that one.
We'll talk to the horse's agent after the show.
And who do we have?
This is all right. The Derby. Thank you. That's what it says. We have Derbies coming up, and they are transported by foot and also in a Kansas City trolley that they call a streetcar named Blarney. You can see it coming up here. This is the same kind that travels the Kansas City streets during the warmer months, and it's one of the best ways to see our terrific town. And they say that their banner says that it emphasizes the greatness of their Irish descent, and that is no blarney. And by the way, Graham Darby was one of the original handful of marchers in that first parade back in 1973. Graham is back today along with other family members, including 11 grandchildren.
And self-explanatory, KLSI Radio, Classy 93 is here, and boy, does this sound familiar. Pam Whiting and AW...
Pantoja.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say. They're out of money. Pam and AJ, of course, are the delightful morning team on Classy 93.
Looks like they brought along some of their friends to join them today. Oh, and we have the radio stations following the radio stations. Another popular one for country fans. It is KFKF FM 94. And they're presenting a novel approach to this year's parade with the Irish Transistor Marching Band. Well, it looks like maybe they're marching inside right now, but hi to our friends from KFKF, Dan Roberts and Mary McKenna on in the mornings at KFKF.
And big fire truck. Yeah, we hope the siren is... That's a couple of big rigs. Huh? Our cheering fans behind us. Anyway, it's a couple of the big rigs from Kansas City's fire department. These guys put it on the line every day of the year for us, and they're always one of the first groups to volunteer and contribute to charities. Over the years, there have been scores of Irishmen who've taken up the most honorable profession of being a Kansas City fireman.
We'd like to thank them, not only for participating in the parade, but of course for the fine service that they do every day. It's Patty's Pig, Thomas. This is that Pig Out Restaurant Club, and they call themselves Port. And they are always a crowd pleaser, and they have with them today Patty O'Pig. He is here to prove the pigs have just a wee bit of Irish in them. Oh, did I say that? Oh, well. Thank you. Thank you to our comedy writers for providing this material. But this is a great group. I interviewed them last year before the parade, and they certainly have a lot of fun in the parade, and I think most of the time as well.
As we watch them go by, somewhere along the way, we understand Ken Houston is with one of, or possibly both of, the co-chairs of the parade, and I haven't seen him. So I guess we will just wait. But sooner or later, you will get a chance to meet the folks who have done an awful lot to get this thing organized and put it all together, and it's an amazing task, believe me. KUDL FM 98 is back for their 7th year in St. Patty's Kansas City Bash. The 98 KUDL Big Blue Rollin' Radio speaks cheer in the best mix yesterday and today, just like the Irish.
There are those crazy breakfast flakes. They're up on board along with Darcy Blake. Hi, guys. Oh, looky here. O'Connor clan. Now, they've been in this parade for 5 years, and there's about 75 or so of them riding or marching down Grand Avenue. Now, Jerry Murphy is the fellow responsible for organizing this unit, so let's say thanks to him, and happy St. Patrick's Day to all of the Murphys and O'Connors.
And we just about lost our camera. Jonathan by the...
got right in there with the Murphys and the O'Connors.
The banner toters just about ran down poor Jonathan. Coming up next.
There's a close-up of the Murphys and O'Connors.
As the Murphys mosey along, the Fennessy clan offers up the Irish artisans to us now. Leprechauns in search of the Irish pot of gold, generally found at the end of the rainbow.
Irish artisans, it says on their float. Do you think there really is a pot of gold, Tom?
I have not found it, and I do
And if he does, he won't share it. Oh, there's a lady that's all decked out for St. Patrick's Day. Good for her. Well, radio stations, we've just got them all in this parade today, and this is a popular group from KY 102. Their entry won the 1989 business float for the parade, and they're back again with the patron saint of rock and roll, it says. Well, that's a new one on me, but I don't think that's an Irish jig blaring from their speakers, but there will be plenty of partying lot today. And once again, we do want to remind you to have a safe and sane St. Patrick's Day celebration. Would you like to repeat that one, Thomas?
You did very well with that little tongue twister,
Thank you.
say.
I've been practicing all week.
As we wait for KY 102 to go by us, we've had something or another here. Still waiting for Ken Houston. I see the Kenster, but I don't see the people that he was looking for.
Oh, looky here. I recognize this fellow. It is Randy Miller. And, of course, tonight at 9 o'clock right here on KSHB TV 41, Randy is taken over, and he has an hour-long Celebrate St. Patrick's Day with Randy Miller special, and he's promised me that he's going to behave himself, well, at least as much as he ever does. Hi, Randy. There he is.
I want to know who would allow their Mercedes to be painted that color.
As that.
I believe there's been a mortal sin committed here, huh?
Randy has some friends. Oh, they have the Q104 van all decorated up for the occasion, promoting Randy's special tonight at 9 o'clock on KSHB TV 41. And I'm very disappointed he doesn't have the Basset Hounds with him today.
Maybe on the show.
Randy has two Basset Hounds, Mr. T and Winston. And, of course, a darling little girl, I should mention, Charlesie, as well, and give equal time. She is adorable.
And coming up next, we think we can't see the number, but it's the Casey Alliance for Stronger Families, and they are wishing you a happy St. Pat's Day. The Alliance is composed of 4 family service agencies: the Heart of America Family Service, Jewish Family and Children's Services, Catholic Charities, both Missouri and Kansas City Wings. They're dedicated to serving families because a happy, healthy family is worth more than a pot of gold.
And that is true, indeed.
How about this? Did we already see this little buggy going by us? It's a 1904 Studebaker, and everybody's had a chance to see that.
And we've got a car going through here. Who are the J.W. O'Connor family? We've got more O'Connors in this parade. I'll tell you, I think about half the people in Kansas City's name's O'Connor today.
One of them works with us.
That's right. And I have relatives named O'Connor. It's another fine Irish family, and I'm going to be honest with you folks, I'm not sure who they are, but we're going to try to find out for you.
That could be the Chuck Clancy. Has brought some of the members of the Boilermakers Union Local 83 down to the parade with him. I believe that's who that is. The Irish have had a long and proud association with America's trade unions. We'll get this all figured out sooner or later.
We've got some more music coming up the street here in a moment.
And before we do that,
Speaking of luck,
we do have Kenster Houston, and he is talking with the co-chair persons of this year's parade. Ken?
Yeah, Tom, I'm standing right here, right in front of you, as a matter of fact, talking with Pete and Kathy, two of the co-chairs of today's parade. Now, tell me, what was it like getting all this prepared? We have a fantastic day today, and we've seen a lot of floats.
Well, the only thing we can't make preparations for is the weather. Mother Nature had to cooperate on that, and Murphy was sleeping or something. He gave us a break today. But the weather is fabulous. The crowd is excited. Got a lot of thank yous and thumbs up when we went down the route earlier. People are really enjoying this thing today.
Yes, there's been a lot of enthusiasm for today's parade. How many hours of preparation for something like this?
Many, many hours. We started in September. We've been meeting since then. The hours are just untold.
Did you have any idea that everything would turn out as it has turned out today?
We always hope that it will, but we expect, glitches, but there hasn't been any today. Everything has gone literally flawless with this parade today.
I agree. It's been absolutely fantastic. Any highlights for next year coming up, or are you thinking that far in advance?
We're not going to think that far, but we're going to wait at least a month.
Give us a few days.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for doing an outstanding job this year. Back to you, Tom and Julie.
And a lot of work they have put in on that, as well as Mr. Kent today. Lots of folks working very hard to make this parade possible.
The Leprechauns came from where?
This is the Kansas Political League, and they've taken the theme of the Irish future literally. That's prompted their presentation.